So a while ago I reviewed ANNKE's Crater indoor security camera, and I was pretty impressed with that given the price that they were charging for it and kind of like the features you got for it. They've gone and launched their Crater Pro indoor security camera, and they must have liked my video because they have asked me to take a look at their new camera. So that's what we're going to do today. Hey everyone, and welcome to a new video on Bite of Geek. Today, so we're going to take a look at that ANNKE Crater Pro indoor camera. Like all these products that I receive from manufacturers, they've not paid any money for this review. This is my own honest opinion. You guys get to kind of hear my feedback on it, and they do as well. And you'll hear a little bit more about that. This hasn't been a plain sailing review of this this camera, but I think first of all, we'll just have a look what you get in the box. So very similar packaging to the original Crater camera that I reviewed, and in fact, when you get inside, it's pretty much the same kind of content, to be honest. Again, this one can be mounted upside down. You can stick it on the ceiling. Again, you get the micro USB cable. Would have been nice to have had that USB-C. I say it every time, manufacturers need to be moving to those kinds of connections on these devices now. No real excuse. It's a well-established connection for devices. So yet more different types of cables you've got to have. But anyway, this camera itself, similar kind of features to the Crater. But this one, comes with a 4 megapixel resolution, which, as you'll see in the video clips later on, really does make that difference. I guess, you just need to think whether you're going to need that on an indoor camera. It's got all the same kind of things, two-way audio, the human detection, all that kind of stuff, the motion tracking. One of the really nice things to see on this is that it's got the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi network compatibility. So, a nice step up from the Crater camera I originally reviewed. So really good, to have all of these features in on the the price point that they've got this at. Now, down below in the description I will put links to this product. They are meant to be hooking me up with a discount code, as they did last time. Hopefully it'll last a little bit longer than the initial 24 hours or whatever it was that they put that in for, but I'll put the expiry date against that as well. So if you're interested, you'll be able to pick one of these up, probably cheaper than what you'd be able to get it on the likes of Amazon or something like that. In terms of aesthetics of this, so very similar to the previous camera. A little bit smaller, I would say. The base is a bit more squared off. The other one was very much rounded. You can see here in the clip kind of like the differences between them, but generally the same kind of looking camera. So they've not moved too much away from that. You've got the micro SD card slot just below the actual lens, and you can easily access that. You do have the option, as you did with the Crater, the cloud storage as well, and you get a free trial of that. If you've got the original Crater and you were buying the Crater Pro for another room, something like that, then this would all feel very familiar to you, in terms of features and setup and stuff like that. So talking of setup, well, it's all very similar kind of stuff, really. Download the app, connect it to power, scan the QR code, and connect it to your network, and off it goes. Except it didn't, and this was kind of like the first thing that I noticed with this camera. So my expectation was, I already had an ANNKE app installed on my phone. I've got the ANNKE Crater indoor camera. That's the app that I'm using with that. Not for this camera though. This camera needs a new ANNKE app that the old camera doesn't work with. So now I have to have 2 ANNKE apps on my phone. Yet worse than that is that I have to have 2 accounts with ANNKE in order to use those. So I fed that back to ANNKE. I don't think that's a good user experience. You know, I think you know, if you're going to change your whole ecosystem and you need customers to use a new app, you know, at least have kind of like one common user account that everybody, you know, they can just point their various apps at. So you know, that was a big kind of, whoa, you know, ANNKE, you've got that wrong. But once I'd figured out that you know, I wasn't going to be able to get the camera set up with the original app, you know, downloading the new one, the My ANNKE app, you know, it was a pretty pain-free setup. It went through really, really quickly. So in terms of the app and the software, you know, that you're going to use with this camera, so setup issues aside, I think the software covers off basically what you're going to need with this. It's not bloated software with a load of features that you don't need. So you know, you've got your notifications and your human tracking, all that kind of stuff, motion tracking, and you know, that's what you need to turn on so that it follows the person around the room. You can set schedules for the recording and all that kind of stuff. So you know, all the good stuff that you need with this camera. You know, there's OnVIF support, albeit in an experimental section of the app. So you may have issues with that until it kind of moves into the full functionality. Some of the features that you find in other apps, like being able to define zones, you know, I can't find any option to do that in this app. So you know, you don't seem to have privacy or motion zones that you can define. But everything else is pretty much there. You know, the actual interface, you know, the live view interface, if you want to view footage, you know, is fairly uncluttered. I think, you know, it works fine. Bizarrely, there's, you know, normally you kind of get some kind of cursor pad on the display. There's nothing like that here. So you just move your finger around on the video feed that you've got. You know, you can pinch and expand to use the digital zoom in and out on the camera, and obviously because it's that 4 megapixel, you know, it looks you know, pretty good from that point of view. But yeah, odd not to have that cursor pad on there. You know, you have the usual kind of thing where, you know, we've got a timeline where you can go back and look at all your events as well. So they you know, they've really thought out about that. You can download the footage as well. The only thing that is kind of annoying is you know, they've got this you know, a lot of space is taken up on the kind of like the second half of the first page of the app, you know, where it's kind of, it's like an advert for the cloud storage really. And you know, ANNKE, we don't need that in an app. You know, it's kind of, you know, give us the option to get rid of it. You know, if you're going to use the SD card for recording, you're not really going to be bothered about you know, a cloud advert all the time. So you know, it just seems to be wasting space, in my opinion, from that point of view. In terms of footage, well, you know, I've got some daytime and nighttime footage here, and you know, I think it works really quite well. The you know, the motion tracking, the human tracking works just as well as it did on the previous camera. Again, as with the Crater indoor camera, there is this oddity where the you know, kind of like the camera head looks to the side. You know, I'll have walked into a room and it hadn't picked me up, and then you know, it still is looking to the side, and then I've got to go and step back in front of it, and then it picks me up, and then it follows me around. I don't know why it does it, ANNKE. You know, if you know why, maybe it's a bug in the firmware or something, you know, that could be looked at. It only does it occasionally, or you know, the majority of the time it's really, really good at the tracking from that point of view. This hasn't been without pain getting to this point of the review. I might add, you know, I've had this camera for a number of months, and when ANNKE originally gave this to me for review, there was some significant problems in the software, especially on you know, Android. There's still some bugs in there, you know, that don't seem to have been fixed. One of them is the time zone. So, you know, if I go and set it to London, and you know, obviously it updates the time on the camera feed, and I come out of the app and I go back in, it then returns it back to Berlin. You know, I've tried this on latest Android, I've tried this on earlier versions of Android. Just needs looking at, please, ANNKE. You know, we need to make sure we got the right times on the camera, the footage that's been recorded. But the software is a lot better than what it was when I originally tried this out. The engineers obviously have worked hard and gone and resolved these problems. So if they just fix the kind of like couple of other minor bugs that are still there, I think that'd be great, please, ANNKE. So what is my overall opinion of this then? Well, I think it's a nice small indoor camera. I think missing HomeKit and Google Home support is a bit of an oversight there by ANNKE. I think you can't just go with Amazon support on these devices. Google might be faltering a little bit in the smart home space, but HomeKit isn't. Apple is building their ecosystem up, so you need to look at that. If not for this product, but certainly for future products. Obviously, the price is a really good price again. You've got great option of having that local storage. With a pretty decent feature set. The video quality obviously is really, really good. If you're into this kind of thing, if you need something like this, whether it's for a baby monitor or you want to have it as a ceiling mount or something like that, then it's going to be perfect for that. It's got a really loud speaker on it, so and it's a good camera for tracking people around the room. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. What did you think about this? Do you think this is worth having as a kind of like an upgrade from the camera that I reviewed previously? Let me know down below. These things are popular. They are a busy kind of section of the marketplace. Lots of devices like this. So has ANNKE got this one right? Let me know down below. If you've enjoyed this video, then don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. But as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.